Well, a very good afternoon to you. We are coming to you from Glenvista, that's south of Johannesburg, on this Women's Day. And of course, it is 70 years on from that iconic march where more than 20,000 women marched to the union buildings, just against the pass laws of the then government. So today we continue to put our spotlight and highlight the women that continue to shape this country for the better, whether it is women leading in boardrooms or whether it's women leading in classrooms, in the health industry, but also put a spotlight on those women who are quietly leading for people that are actually voiceless. South Africans' children, some of them abandoned. We are coming to you from an organization called Door of Hope. This is where we meet women who have not turned their backs on abandoned children. They actually welcome them with open arms to give them a sense of belonging. This establishment was essentially founded in 1999, and since then, over 2,000 babies were saved. In this particular home, there are a number of children, the youngest being just 6 days old, and the oldest just 4 days old. The NGO has also managed throughout time to reconnect some of the abandoned babies with their biological families, facilitate over 900 adoptions in the country, and those that cannot essentially be adopted, they are housed here, where it is a warm environment for the children. So I'm going to be speaking now to some of those women that do this remarkable work, quietly so. And first up, we are going to be speaking to Umamu Basane Maluleke Mabasa, who is the center manager here. Basane, a very good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for welcoming the SABC.
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming.
Basane, I mean, we have done a walkabout, in one of your centers. I must say the work that you do is incredibly remarkable. Give us a sense then in terms of, when your NGO was started, why it was started, and the kind of children that you are supporting.
So this organization, Door of Hope Children's Mission, started in 1999. This kind of job or mission was informed by the babies that were found at the areas such as Hillbrow, Berea, Yuval, and the pastor who was working or maybe attending church at Baptist Church around Berea noticed that, and then she decided to bring or come up with something that will maybe try to change or to make a change in this high number of abandoned babies around that area.
And so we saw, of course, some of the caregivers are women that are so compassionate with the babies. I mean, the youngest baby, just 6 days old. Give us a sense in terms of just the kind of people that you need to be around these babies at a time, when they are really abandoned.
We are working with great women. The women that are working here are child and youth care workers, qualified child and youth care workers, and they are doing amazing job by taking care of these kids. I'll say that you need to have patience, like working with kids. It starts from there, and you have that motherly love to work here.
And I mean, we laugh now, but, some of the children were eating when we came, and now it's nap time, which is why it's so quiet. And I was saying, what if some of those kids, don't sleep? And one of the ladies quipped, they have to sleep. We need to also get our break. It's important, right, so that some of the women that do work here also get that opportunity to, to rest, because, I mean, they look after these babies 24 hours.
Yes. Yeah, so we will say it's lunchtime, but as a mother, if you see the child is not sleeping, you leave everything. Even if you are eating, they will leave everything that they are doing and then go check why the child is not sleeping and try to help the child to have a nap And so in that sense, these mothers, they choose these babies before themselves sometimes, though they need to have rest sometimes.
And we're going to speak to just somebody that does exactly that. Auntie Francina, le kae mama? Re hona. Thank you so much for your time. So just give us a sense then, mama, what the job entails here and how long you have actually been working for Door of Hope.
Sure, I've been here for such a long, long time, but anyway, it doesn't look like it was like a long time because I just love what I'm doing.
Talk to us about what it is that you actually do from the moment. I know you work very closely with other NGOs, you work very closely with the South African Police Service. Give us a sense then in terms of how babies find their way here.
Actually, we have like a baby saver. Some of the baby comes from the baby saver. Some of the babies, the mother brought them here. Some are from hospital after the mother decided not to take a baby with. Some are from the side of the road where the child will be like abandoned, yes.
And when the child is abandoned, for instance, let's talk about the 6-year-old baby, 6-day-old baby, when they are brought in from birth, how do you take care of them and who actually is then responsible, from perhaps receiving the baby from a police officer to then ensuring that that baby is immediately loved, immediately senses of, gets a sense of belonging?
Like she said, we are the mothers. Immediately the child's come in, that's first love. You just like pull out your socks and then just do the job. So because the child is here and then the child can take care of herself or himself. So we have to care for the child. So yes, it's a long process what we have to do in terms of when the child arrives. But yeah, we have to do the job.
It's Women's Month. We look at the role of some women, some of them in boardrooms, some of them making headlines. But your job is on the background. It's behind the scenes. It's not in front of the cameras most of the time. Speak to us about what you love particularly about your job and what makes you keep coming back.
Actually, I think it's just a natural thing, a mother and a child. That's love. Actually, is like I can say it's a calling. To come and work here, it's not like it's just a calling, but God allowed it to happen. So, that's what we are doing. When we do our work, we forget about like whatever is happening, and then we just do our work with our whole heart. We just fully concentrate on what we are doing.
Last one before we wrap up. Somebody could be watching this interview, a desperate mother who probably cannot take care of their child. What would you like to say to them in terms of the support that they can get instead of abandoning, the baby elsewhere, but the kind of care that you would provide for that baby that they at that time cannot?
I would say actually we have like a number online where they can call and find out what they can be helped, like the help they can get from like Door of Hope. And then also in terms of those who really don't know what to do, yes, I think it is better to speak to the social worker, then they'll get help.
Absolutely. Auntie Francina Ralewoha, thank you so much for your time. And of course, we're going to take a quick break now. And when we come back, Auntie Francina mentioned the fact that there are social workers that are involved here, and we'll get a sense from them in terms of just the type of care that these babies and oftentimes toddlers need when they arrive here at the center, the Door of Hope. We'll also speak to one of the other caregivers here, because as we said, there are babies here. Some, on the day they are born, they are abandoned and brought here. For instance, the youngest, as I said earlier, just 6 days old. Just the kind of work that entails when we return. Well, a very good afternoon to you again, and we are still in the south of Johannesburg. That's in Glenvista, to be specific. We are still at Door of Hope, and this is essentially where hundreds of children are being taken care of. These are babies that have been abandoned, sometimes at birth. We are talking to women who are not on the spotlight most of the time. They work behind the scenes, caring for babies as old as 1 day old, up to, in some instances, to the age of 4, to the age of 6. Most of the babies here do somehow, and luckily enough, get reunited with their families. This particular organization has looked after 2,000 babies to date. And of those, 900 have been facilitated through adoptions. Some of these babies are reunited with their families, as I said, but others not so much. So we are going to speak now to a youth and child care worker who works here, Masabata Bore. Masabata, a very good afternoon to you. I mean, the work that you guys do is totally remarkable. When did you start working with these babies and children? And can you explain to us on this Women's Day what that means for you?
The important thing that I can say is to love, to have a love of what you are doing and love the children and be responsible and give them support and care.
O rata eng wena ka mosebetsi wa hao?
Ka mosebetsi wa ka ke rata hore ke ba fa lerato, ke a ba kgathalla, ke a ba hlokomela. Ke make sure hore ngwana o mong le o mong o hantle. Ke ba treata ka ho lekana.
And when you start your day, how fitla fela mo mmerekong? Maybe just tell us, what is it that you do immediately when you come in and see those beautiful faces, greeting you every single day? I mean, ribone, earlier on. Just give us a sense then, what does that mean for you?
Then ha ke fihla in the morning, the first thing ke etsang ke di roomong tsa bona ke ba dumedise, then o tla ba bona ka smile le bona ba ndumedisa back. Then it makes me feel happy because of most of the time ha ke le mo mosebetsing ke feel hore mosebetsi o ke therapy for nna, cause even if ke na le di situations, di problems, but when I'm around these children, then ke feel better than when I'm at home.
On that note, dear therapy, explain to us, what do you mean, that they are therapy for you?
I mean, hore, maybe if ke na le problem, once ke fihla ka hare ho bona, ke a lebala, ke ba happy ka everything, ke lebala everything.
Masabata Raleboha, thank you so much for speaking to us. Of course, that was Masabata Bore, just giving us a sense then of what it means to work here every single day with these children. One of the things that we, of course, talked about earlier on was social workers who also work and care for these children right here. And one of the things that they do is to make sure that every child gets the help that they need. I'm now going to be, in fact, joined by one of those social workers, Amanda Katalaza Mashilo, residential social work here. Thank you so much, and happy Women's Day to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Lovely having you.
So talk to us about, what your work entails. I mean, we know that to date, close to 2,000 at least children have been taken care through this system. What is your role and how do you assist?
Okay, we receive abandoned children from the child protection organizations, also from the Department of Social Development. So we receive the children and ensure that we render the programs that we have, like shelter, make sure that their needs are well taken care of. Also ensure that their court openings are done, just to legalize their stay at Door of Hope.
And when you talk about, that court process, I mean, what does it do in terms of, even from the workers themselves that work here, the kind of support, from court to coming back to the house and to the home? What is the support that you grant them there from a legal perspective?
With regards to the support that we give to our caregivers and the children, obviously when the children are placed with us legally with a court order, we are able to then take them, in case a child is sick, we take them to the hospital. The first thing that the hospital will need is a court order, just to ensure that these kids are placed legally. And also, actually it dignifies the whole thing, because there are lots of cases of human trafficking. So you can imagine, if you can keep the kids without proper papers from court, it makes the whole thing dodgy. But our courts, we work very well with our courts, the Johannesburg court, the Randburg court, and they ensure that the kids' paperwork is up to date.
You know, we heard that some of the children here arrive without a name. And they leave here sometimes to go to another family, sometimes at the age of 4, sometimes when they're, babies. What does that mean for a family that wants to adopt them, and having to understand that the background that these children are coming from is also perhaps a difficult one for when they are a little bit older and get to understand how it is that they were adopted?
Okay. The families, they go through workshops and some trainings that is rendered by the statutory social workers and social development. They prepare these families and equip them just to make sure that they are really ready for these children. For instance, some families are referred to psychologists just to prepare them for the whole process and to be able to bring out the news to the kids when they grow up. There is a process that they follow whereby the parents are told how to break out the news to the child. Yes. With regards to the names sometimes are given. If the child comes without a name, the name and surname is given to the child. And the date of birth is estimated by a pediatrician.
All right, as we wrap up our conversation, it is Women's Month, it is Women's Day. What does this day mean for you and also, social workers that do the same work that you do?
For me, I'm very proud to be a social worker because we bridge the gap between vulnerable people. Actually, we are a gap between vulnerable people and their stability. So when these desperate mothers come here with their babies, at least we give them hope, and for them to know that at least their kids are left in a place where they will be taken care of. So it brings so much joy in my heart to know that we work with children's lives and we make a difference in communities.
Amanda, thank you so much for speaking to us, and happy Women's Day to you. Well, there you have it. After spending a few hours here as the SABC News team, one can honestly say that whilst there are women who are doing remarkable work on the forefront of, the country, there are also women who are quietly doing it too, shaping the country in a way in which they know, and to borrow Amanda's words, is to give the vulnerable hope. So they do exactly that. So next time we celebrate Women's Month, I think about those women that behind the scenes are working to shape this country. Well, from us here, it's goodbye and back to studio.